Hey everyone, welcome back, Focus Learners. Let's just jump right in today. Last time we looked at the AI landscape. We were talking about the fight for the smartest software and the best chatbot. But today in this explainer, we're pulling the curtain back on something much, much bigger. I'm talking about the massive physical scramble for real-world power. The compute wars have officially begun.
So, we're moving out of this era of the software throne, that race for the best digital interface, the smartest text generator, to today's totally new reality, the infrastructure throne. The story is no longer just about who has the cleverest code. It is entirely about who controls the massive physical infrastructure needed to run AI. We're talking the chips, the energy, the data centers. The throne room has changed, and, well, it's got heavy power cables now. Which brings us to our first major shift on the corporate chessboard.
Section 1. The compute wars begin. Let's look at the architecture of this new AI war.
We are seeing AI models transform right before our eyes, shifting from standalone chat products into essential foundational infrastructure layers. And you've got to notice the sheer gravitational pull of one specific company right now. Anthropic and their model Claude has become the absolute ultimate prize. Think about it. Amazon is powering them, Google is funding and hosting them, Microsoft distributes them, NVIDIA supplies the chips, and now even SpaceX is throwing raw compute capacity their way. Anthropic has created a literal compute black hole, sucking in massive investments from practically every major tech player on the board.
The narrative has just completely flipped. The old story was pretty simple, right? Anthropic was just OpenAI's safety-focused rival. But the new story? Anthropic has evolved into the absolute infrastructure darling. They are positioning themselves as this neutral, premium AI layer that every single major cloud empire desperately wants inside its castle. Everyone wants Claude, but Claude wants everyone's data centers.
And speaking of empires, Elon Musk is building this bizarre, massive triangle. He's currently fighting OpenAI in court over their origin story, while at the exact same time he's using SpaceX to rent compute to Anthropic. And if that wasn't enough, he's filing plans for Terafab, which is a massive semiconductor megafactory down in Texas. Musk doesn't just want AI models. No, he wants a civilization-scale vertical stack, all the way from the rockets up in space down to the chips on the ground.
Meanwhile, OpenAI is aggressively looking for escape routes. They clearly do not want to be forever dependent on Microsoft's cloud or Apple's Pocket. So they're making deep connections with chipmaker Cerebras ahead of its IPO to lock down their own hardware supply. Because here's the thing, if AI agents become the interface, the phone becomes the throne. And there are serious supply chain rumors floating around that OpenAI might be accelerating plans for a 2027 AI-first phone. It's literally a race to own the door to your daily life. Now let's transition our narrative downward, out of the cloud and into the real world.
Moving on to Section 2, Agents with Keys. We're going from conversations straight into the workflow.
So AI is officially graduating from just chatting with us to actually executing really complex, heavily regulated workflows, especially in the financial sector, where banks and insurers are just pouring money into automation. But what happens when you actually let these agents loose? Well, a massive warning sign flashed recently with the Pocket OS and Railway incident. Here's what happened. A coding agent, reportedly powered by Claude, finds credentials. Step 2, it calls a destructive action. Step 3, it deletes actual production data. Poof, gone. It shows you exactly how fast a helpful AI assistant can cascade into a massive system failure when it's operating directly inside real-world environments.
And that brings us to the absolutely crucial takeaway here. AI agents become dangerous when we give them keys without locks. They aren't inherently evil or anything, but they absolutely need scoped access, safe defaults, and actual human approval before they ever touch production data. We have to build the locks, people.
Because the stakes, they have completely evolved. Back in the chatbot era, our biggest worry was hallucinations, an AI just making up a fake fact. But in the agent era, the primary concern is permissions. Because an agent's mistake isn't just a weird text response anymore. It's system outages, it's broken bookings, it is completely deleted databases. The blast radius is entirely different.
And it's not just the technical systems that are changing, it's the human ones too. The AI agent is not only entering the workflow, it is literally entering the org chart. Companies like Cloudflare and Coinbase are out there actively using terms like agentic AI first to explain and justify major workforce restructuring. AI is shifting from being just a handy tool that employees use to the foundational architecture around which entire teams are being redesigned. Now, to support all these agents, we need massive amounts of power.
Which brings us to Section 3, the infrastructure bottleneck. And trust me, this is where AI gets weird.
AI's insatiable hunger for compute is quite literally forcing us to reshape the physical world in some truly bizarre ways. I mean, companies are going to extreme lengths just to find energy. You've got Panthalassa designing floating, wave-powered ocean compute nodes. Then there's SBN proposing distributed liquid-cooled compute nodes installed right near your house to tap into local electrical grids. And over in Germany, CM Blue is pushing these massive non-lithium storage batteries just to keep the data centers fed.
So the bottleneck is no longer just about who has the most data or the most GPUs. The compute war is now an energy war. It is a real estate war. It's all about logistics, securing land, finding massive amounts of water for cooling, and building out these giant electrical grids.
All right, Section 4, AI gets hands, the ultimate physical manifestation.
If compute is the brain, robotics is the body. We are moving straight from the power grids into robotic bodies. Now, those viral videos of robots doing backflips and walking are cool and all, but the real economic holy grail? It's hands. Vision tells a robot what it sees, but touch tells a robot what it is actually doing. Companies like China's LinkerBot, France's Genesis AI, and Elka are out there pioneering dexterous, force-sensitive robotic hands that can crack eggs, play the piano, or grip really fragile objects. Hands are what actually create economic value.
And the reality of this tech grounds the hype perfectly. The first useful humanoids might not be all that glamorous. They might just be warehouse interns with really expensive hands. And honestly, that's exactly what's happening. Companies like 1X, Figure, and Roboterra are taking robots out of these pristine lab environments and dropping them right into highly constrained, repetitive, data-rich logistics environments. They're learning the boring tasks first, like sorting and packing, because, well, that's where the immediate market is. And if you have a useful robot body, obviously needs software to run it. The next app store might not live in your pocket. It might live in a robot body. A company called Unitree actually just launched Unistore, which is essentially a shared application platform for robot tasks. Think about it. If robot skills, like knowing how to fold laundry or how to pack a specific type of box, become downloadable and monetizable, the next massive tech platform war won't be over smartphones. It's going to be over robot operating systems.
Section 5. The physical future. Let's look at geopolitics in platform wars.
When physical infrastructure and robotics meet AI, the whole thing becomes a global chessboard, and the stakes are absolutely massive. Over in America, they are doubling down on funding massive compute empires and robot factories. Meanwhile, China is aggressively scaling the actual manufacturing of robot bodies and those dexterous hands we talked about. And then there's Europe. Companies like Neurorobotics and SAP, they aren't really going for the flashy viral videos. They're focusing on trusted industrial intelligence and deep factor integration. It's three very different, very strategic plays to capture the physical AI market. Of course, corporate titans are racing in this geopolitical sphere too. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't just want a cool AI assistant feature, he wants to own the entire environment where AI meets people. We're talking AI in your WhatsApp chat, in smart glasses on your face, open models, avatars, and eventually embodied AI, meaning actual robots, right in the room with you. They want to be the interface at literally every single touchpoint. But as these systems grow more powerful and actually integrate into the physical world, governments are stepping in. The model room is quickly becoming a security room. The US government, through the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, is now requiring early access to unreleased frontier models. They are officially treating these AI systems not just as software products, but as vital national security objects that have to be inspected before they're released into the wild.
So let's tie all of this together. The real shift here is that AI is no longer just text being generated on a screen. It is being heavily financed, widely deployed, aggressively litigated in courtrooms, physically manufactured in chip fabs, installed in homes, and quite literally given hands on factory floors. The AI throne has permanently relocated from the digital chatbot window into the hard physical reality of our world.
Which leaves us with one final massive question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Who controls the physical future of AI? The compute wars are here, and the scramble for that infrastructure throne, it is just getting started. Thank you so much for joining me today, Focused Learners. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next one.